Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the celebration begins from you. And the moment you begin to celebrate yourself, or we begin to celebrate ourselves as women, every other things will fall in place, will begin to fall in place. The women are breaking limits, but it begins from you. Accepting yourself, celebrating yourself, and then you'll see that everybody will begin to do the same.
Yes.
But if you are downplaying yourself as a woman, I'm sorry, that's the same energy you get from people out there. Your words can be incapacitated if you don't have actions to back it up. Just like, sorry, like a guy telling a girl, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Morning to night, he's just singing, I love you. And then he's not even doing anything to show that he actually loves her. Mom, she became the strength of the family at a point where a tragedy struck my dad, and he was out of service. He was a public servant.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Women, Tech, and Society, a podcast dedicated to conversations on the impact, potential, and challenges of women in technology and society. I am Benita Ezumezu, and I'm your host. I'm excited to discuss today's episode, which will be on advocacy for women's progress. Women's contribution have not been recognized as much in our world today. Yes, we see progress, but we need more voices to be celebrated, regardless of the gender. Today's impactful conversation will uncover the incredible and triumphant progress and contributions of women, their determination to contribute positively to the progress of society across various sectors, including technology, leadership, and many other spaces. With me today is an expert advocating for women's progress. She's a leading change maker, advocate for driving positive change for women and girls, and also recognition of their significant contribution to society. She would also share her success story, challenges, as well as explore how we can increase advocacy for women in diverse sectors. So let's meet my guest. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization and what your organization does.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me on your platform. Benita, I appreciate this privilege. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for
This is
coming.
also creating an opportunity for women voices to be heard, because I believe there are a lot of people that will be listening to this, and they're going to be seeing another woman airing her voice. So I appreciate it, and I don't take it for granted.
Thank
Okay, my
you.
name is Dr. Andrew, known as Dorand. Dorand is my brand name. My birth name is Dr. Andrew, and I usually tell people my name is Dorand because I want that name to stick. You know, we are change makers, and people must know you for something.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I've learned something in life that names are powerful. They can either build or destroy.
True.
So
Very
this
true.
is Dorand, actually.
Um,
Thank you for having me on your platform. I am the founder of Women Tribe and Development organization that is built to raise women that are a profitable asset, not just women, and teenagers that are profitable assets in the society, in their families, and in the society at large. So that is what we do in WOTDO. It's actually called WOTDO. That is what we do. So we create impact services, um, empower them in several ways so that they
Okay.
can, yeah, they can become a profitable asset. You know, you're profitable. So that is the goal. The goal is to raise people, to help them see that they are important and they have something to also actually contribute to the society.
Society. Wow, that's amazing. That's really amazing.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, so you've spoken about your organization and what you do. So could you tell us a little bit about what motivated you into that field?
Okay. What motivated me into creating such a platform was two reasons. I have two reasons, actually. Number one is my mother.
Oh, wow.
Yes, my mom. She became the strength of the family at a point where a tragedy struck my dad, and he was out of service. He was a public servant. So he had a terrible accident that affected him, and he had to leave service.
Oh.
So my mom had to take the responsibility of the family. And as a young girl, I saw how my mom took us. We're six. Yeah, I
Wow.
have we're six in number, with my dad, with his treatment and everything.
Wow.
Okay, it was all on my mom. And I could see that a woman can be powerful.
Wow.
Yes. And even at that, we're not just six in the family. We had other people that were staying with us. And she was shouldering all this responsibility. So I felt women have to see this, that you don't have to depend on somebody to actually live.
Right. Very
You have to have this independent, sorry, I call it dependent, independent mindset. While you're depending on somebody, also be independent of yourself.
Right.
That thing you're depending on somebody for, at least have small knowledge about it, so that when the person is not around, you'll be able to take care of yourself.
Very true.
Yeah, so my mom, and also the experience I had in school when I was graduating. You know, when we were graduating, I'll be asking myself, hey girl, what are you going to be doing after school? And like, oh, I'll serve. Some will say, okay, I'll go for my master's. You know, some will say, okay, I'll start a business. Others are like, well, I just want to get married and have children. So one of my close friends said that to me and struck me like, oh, you're making a wrong decision. You can't say you're just going to graduate from school and then get married and then have children. What is the plan? You should have your bank account for yourself. What are you
Right.
doing to create a system for yourself? Yes, it's good to be married. Marriage
Definitely.
is beautiful.
Of
You know,
course.
having a husband who takes care of you. You know what they call baby girl's life? Yes,
Right.
you understand. When they take care of you, provide everything, it's beautiful. It's amazing. I had a friend whose mother was a housewife, and they were very wealthy. So I understand how drivers can just pick you out, you go for spa, and somebody is paying for it. That life is beautiful. But
course.
things are changing, right? Things are changing, and you have to build something for yourself.
Right.
It looks selfish, it looks greedy, but no, you have to be independent of yourself. And we see the rate of divorces that are going everywhere. I'm sorry, I'm not celebrating it. But this is enough reason for a woman to build something for herself.
Right.
And my friend made that statement. And I said, no, I have to start something, to start speaking to women who have this mindset.
Wow.
Yes, and think it is okay to just be a woman sitting in the house, taking care of the house. It's not a bad thing, but you can be more. That is how we started Women Thrive and Development Organization. Should I shock you that my friend is doing something today that is helping teenagers?
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
That is amazing.
I know several of my friends that through this thing we started, some of them have schools of their own.
Wow.
Yes, running educational sectors, businesses.
Wow.
So a lot of women, it changed the narrative that, oh, I can be more than just a woman who gives birth to children, who calls herself a wife. I can also make contribution to the society.
That is really amazing. That is
Yeah.
something you had at a very young age.
Yes,
Trust me,
yes.
that is really great work. Yeah, and well done. Okay, so I saw this video recently about a job.
Okay.
The job wasn't focusing, the advert rather wasn't focusing on a job particularly. It was focusing on a job that women actually do that they don't even know that they do that job.
Okay.
It was a very interesting one. It was more like he started asking, it was an interview, so he was asking different people, so this is the job description, you're going to be standing all through, you won't sleep, it's a 24 hours job, you would get to stand and do a lot of things. And they're like, okay, so how much is the pay? And then he's like, there is no pay. And then they're like, so you expect me to give 24 hours of my time and yet without pay? And then he's like, yes. He said, so please, who in the world, in their sane mind, would accept that kind of job? And then he's like, mothers. And that was really amazing. And I'm like, yes, women actually do a lot,
Women
right?
do a lot, yes.
So, yes, and I know that, yes, the world is advancing technologically, right?
Yes, yes.
And so I would want to say there are so many things that technology would do to probably advance women, women's rights, and then progress, and then all of that. And that was a platform that was used to do that.
Yeah.
So, in what ways do you think that access to technology has impacted advocacy for women's progress in tech space and the development space? Coming from your field as a development person and a change maker, so can you share more light on that field?
Okay, technology has actually impacted us in several ways.
Okay.
Several ways. I'm a very reserved person, and I don't like public spaces. Those days I used to have this crowd fright, and I get to a place where people are, I just begin to
Oh,
shiver. Yes, and
wow.
I'm doing something that has to do with the public
Of
space.
course. So, very
So you can
important.
imagine.
Yeah.
But technology has helped me in a way that people read what is in my mind, even when I don't have to say it.
Yes.
You see, it has helped several women who have not been able to speak out to speak, even when nobody knows that they are the ones speaking.
True.
There are
Very
things
true.
that are going around, people are reading, and they don't even know the source of this content. That
Right.
is what technology has done for advocacy, for the voices of women. There are women who are being abused in their homes
Yes.
that nobody knows about it.
True.
But Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and the rest has helped them. There's this woman I follow online. Her name is Choma Eze. Ifeanyi. She's a business coach. And she teaches a lot about business. And she's doing great. Now, for a very long time, nobody knew her. She wasn't putting her face out there, but she was leading lots of people, helping their businesses to grow. Yes, her name was there, but her face was not even seen.
Right.
So what technology is doing is amplifying voices and giving visibility. That is even for people that want their faces to be seen,
True.
right? For people that does not want their faces to be seen, is amplifying their voices silently, right? They're going loud. Nobody knows who is speaking, but something is advocating for someone.
True.
And for people that want to be seen, visibility. Now, if this thing that is capturing us is not here, just the two of us and these two people that will know that we are in this room now, right? It's just us here that will hear ourselves. But technology is helping a whole lot of people to watch this, to listen to this. And that is how it's also affecting women positively, giving us the space to speak out. Another thing it has done for us is mobilization and organization. Now, it has helped us to create forums. It has helped us to create communities. It has helped us to create spaces where we can advocate for ourselves with other women who are in the same shoes as we are. Now I have people who are resonate with my vision to build women that are profitable assets. I see women that, oh, this is a good vision. I want to run with you. Some of them met me online. Do you get? So if technology was not there,
They wouldn't have.
they wouldn't have.
Yes.
So it has helped us to connect with one another.
Right.
Yes. And another thing I can say is mentoring. It has helped us to mentor people and has reduced the breach of knowledge. Like what I mean is lack of knowledge now.
Yeah.
It has exposed a lot of people to information that has improved them. I know how I have learned so much just going online to read. I go to Google with this technology as well. I go to Google to read. I go to several women who are doing great things and I read. And it has really changed my perspective about a lot of things. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, that is amazing. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I understand that you have quite an experience in advocating for women.
Okay.
and highlighting their progress. So, what would you say is the current state of women's progress in our society today? Do you think that the impact has, do you think that the impact women contribute is celebrated enough? I know you had given a little bit of, some people are, we're not able to voice out as much, but technology has done that. But you think today in our society, do you think that that contribution is celebrated enough? And how do you think we can increase advocacy efforts to ensure women's contributions are recognized?
Yeah, this is a very interesting question. Yes, very interesting question, and I'm glad to be answering this. Now, I can't really tell you if people are or women are celebrated enough. You know why? It's not because I'm not seeing that women are being celebrated. I can't give you a particular percentage, right? But I can say that for one to know that he or she is being celebrated is how you see yourself first. It begins from you.
Okay.
Yes. I noticed that women are beginning to celebrate themselves. And if women are beginning to celebrate themselves, it means we have like 80% of people, women are already being celebrated because the celebration begins from you. The truth is that if I go out of my house with my face frowned, before I get to wherever I'm going to, and I pass through like, let's say 50 people on my way out with my face frowned, just imagine the reaction they will give me. Why is she frowning? What's her problem? You understand? Everybody will begin to frown with you. But the moment you come out smiling, somebody will be compelled. Like, they will turn back and look at you again. Why is she smiling? Do you get? Oh, this is a happy child. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So the celebration begins from you. And the moment you begin to celebrate yourself, or we begin to celebrate ourselves as women, every other things will fall in place, will begin to fall in place. And now, how do we now increase that celebration? It's not just by saying it. It's by doing something that will help people to celebrate us. I said a profitable asset in the society. Everybody wants to go for something that is an asset.
Of course.
As you are, if you have money, you'll be looking forward to buying a landed property because you know it's an asset.
Right.
So if you make yourself an asset as a woman, everybody will celebrate you. It might take a while, but I tell you that people will celebrate you. And from what I am seeing, a lot of women are coming into that. We have a lot of women that are inspiring us. Let's talk about Ngozi Iweala. Let's talk about Joyce Meyer. Let's talk about several women out there that are inspiring us. I just heard of a woman who drove all the way from London to Nigeria. What's her name? Oh, sorry. I can't remember her name.
Oh, I'm hearing that for the first time.
Really? Yeah, she drove all the way from London to Nigeria. And this was the first woman.
Wow.
Sorry, I don't know her. I know her name, but I can't really remember because it's a tribal name. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
Do you get? So women are breaking limits, but it begins from you. Accepting yourself, celebrating yourself, and then you'll see that everybody will begin to do the same.
Yes.
But if you are downplaying yourself as a woman, I'm sorry. That's the same energy you get from people out there. So the celebration begins from you. And if we want to increase the rate of the celebration, let's celebrate ourselves more. In those communities, let's amplify our voices together. When one of us is winning, let's cheer her on. And you see that even those other people that we're talking about that are not celebrating us, we begin to celebrate us.
Wow. Well, I think that is a very interesting one. The first, there's something I got to understand is value is very important.
Yes.
I remember someone saying something about if you are of value, people would definitely recognize that nobody sees value and disregard value. I mean, it's very impossible.
Yeah.
So the fact that as a woman, we have to first of all begin to see ourselves as value or build and decide to contribute value is very important. And thank you. So we also have to celebrate ourselves. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for that.
Thank
That was an
you.
interesting one.
Thank you.
So talking about value and contributions and, inclusion and all of that, what are some successful advocacy strategies that can be focused on by our leaders, civil society organizations, educational sector, particularly in STEM rather,
Okay. Okay.
to promote women's inclusion and ensure that women's inclusion is enhanced
Okay. Okay.
in these areas, particularly technology, technology leadership, policy making, and all of that.
All right. I think mentoring and sponsoring. Mentoring is building up the next generation behind you, teaching them, guiding them, leading them personally, having a personal relationship for them to learn from you. And then sponsoring also can help women's inclusion in leadership and the rest. How do I mean sponsoring? What if a woman have a great idea and she does not have the opportunity to put it out there or the resources, it will make her feel incapacitated. But if she has somebody that is willing to support that idea and put it out there, you see that, oh, she feels, okay, I feel among. I feel I'm being heard. Somebody is seeing my value, right? So mentoring and sponsoring women, building and encouraging them is also another way to achieve that. Building and encouraging them. As you are building them, you're encouraging them to walk in that path of leadership, in policy making. We can't say, oh, they know it, they should understand it. No, there's a room for learning. And even when somebody is knowledgeable, there's a room for encouraging them to actually bring out that thing that is inside of them. And also STEM outreaches program. You can create STEM outreaches program for women. Yeah. Do these programs where they can come together to learn with other people, learn from other people. You understand? Coming together, all this group. When we were in school, they used to give us this group assignment and all.
Yeah.
Why were they doing that? So that
Because
you'll be challenged by your peers.
Yeah.
So STEM outreaches program is also a way that we can actually bring women into leadership and policy making and all. And then the leaders, the CSOs, the educational sector can also create a platform where women are celebrated, are appreciated, and recognized for their work. You understand? They need to be celebrated. They need to create platforms, do things that women are heard. I know that is already happening, but we can increase the volume, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time, a woman builds the home. And I've seen women in leadership doing perfectly well.
Right.
The story is always different when it's a woman in that position. So yes, these are the things that the leaders, CSOs, and educational sector should do. Give women the privilege to be heard and also be celebrated in those areas you think they cannot
do well. Wow. Okay, thank you so much for that. Coming from, I know we've talked a little bit about programs and initiatives like mentoring and all of that, but how do you think that advocacy campaigns can effectively raise awareness about concerns? So we've addressed some of the concerns of women in our society, but how do you think that advocacy campaigns can effectively raise awareness about these concerns?
Okay, advocacy campaign can raise awareness through strong storytelling.
Okay.
Yes, when women comes out to tell their stories, it can be their struggles, their challenges in several sectors, in the medical field, in where they feel that we should have more female nurses than female doctors, all those things. If women can tell their stories in the workspace, what they go through, some women will tell you about molestations. If they can give them a platform to tell their stories, it can help the advocacy campaigns. We know those things are happening, but we can increase the volume. That's what I mean. We can increase the volume. Create a platform where women can come and share the things they are going through. It can help that advocacy campaign. Sometimes storytelling is so powerful. Why? Because it brings this person into the picture of what they did not even experience. Sorry, has somebody ever told you about how they were raped? And as she's telling you the story, you're crying with her. You're not the one that was raped. But her story is so compelling that it brings you into her position at that moment.
Yeah.
So storytelling is a way. Also, making it easy to have access to platform where they can lay their complaints or share their views. Giving them that access, making it easy for them to be included. Sometimes it's so difficult for women to have this access. We have a lot of, we had one issue recently that had to do with rape, and I and my colleague were talking about it, and he was like, do you know some of this lady just comes to lie? I said, no, they are not lying. But they're not even confident enough to share what they are going through. So you think they are lying. 88% or 90% of women have actually gone through molestation. So if I hear a woman telling me that she has been molested, I believe her. Because that's the truth. Some of them, these things was done to them when they were even younger. And they kept that thing inside. So if we can create a platform where they can have easy access to express themselves, you see that it will make our advocacy campaign very easy. Another way is to, not just to use technology, we should also use the offline space. Do you understand? Not just about Facebook. Engage with these people that don't have access to technology. They have a lot to tell you. They have a lot to share with you that will strengthen your advocacy for women.
Well, more platforms is very important to actually express ourselves and then ensure that more women are able to speak out. Okay, I think that's a very good one. So do you think that there are economic, political, and social implications of lack of women's inclusion in leadership positions? And what are some advocacy ways that can be used to address these issues?
Okay, I think what are the more advocacy ways that we can use to address these issues?
Okay, so do you think there are economic issues? There are economic implications.
Yes.
So there are economic implications, social implications, or political implications.
There
are. For lack of women's inclusion in the society.
Yes, I'll begin from the family aspect.
Okay.
Yes, in a family where a girl does not have a mother, she might lack some basic skills in life.
Okay.
So even in the political aspect of the nation, if women are not included, there are some lapses that you will see.
Okay.
Because you're not just leading men. The nation is all about men.
Right.
We have women also.
Right.
And if you don't have women in the leadership space, how do you want to help the women?
Right.
You're a man. So you can't really understand that when a pregnant woman is screaming. Do you understand? Why is she shouting? What's her problem? I've seen several women giving birth. Do you get? But because we have women in that leadership space, they understand the pains. They understand how a woman feels when she's celebrated. So it is very important to have women in all sectors. All sectors. Where I went to make my hair a few days ago, I saw men learning how to make nails, do nails, do eyelashes, make hair. And I feel, wow, if a guy can come and learn this, why am I not seeing women barbers?
Oh, I think there are female barbers.
Okay,
There
female
are female,
barbers, right?
yes. I
I've not
think there
seen
are.
any. Why is it just be in all sectors? Because the truth is that you're not just leading a particular gender. And because you are a particular gender, you need the other gender so that you can understand them.
Right.
And if we don't have this, it's affecting a lot of women. And that is why we don't want to include women, because nobody is telling us what these women want. Nobody is telling us what we can do to actually help these women to also live comfortably in the society. Do you understand? But if we have women that are speaking up for us in those sectors, I think our advocacy will become powerful. We'll have a voice that is speaking for us. We'll be able to express ourselves and share our values as well. Now, how can we address that? One of the ways women can address this is by doing action, like taking actions, not just by talking. You want the girl child to go to school, sponsor a girl child to school. By the time you sponsor 50, people will be like, wow, who is this person? Let's support her. Before you know, people will come into that vision. Like what we are doing now, I told you, we started with just 3. And now we're having a lot of people that are coming into what we are doing. If I was just alone in my house talking and talking and talking, nobody would have heard me. And even if they are going to hear me, maybe it will take a while.
Right.
But because I have people that are buying into my vision because of what I am doing.
Because you're taking the
actions.
Very important.
Because I'm taking the actions. And
So
they are
it's a
seeing
visible
that
action. Yeah.
I'm not just magnifying a problem. I'm bringing
taking
solutions.
solution. Right. Right.
Do you get?
Right.
I'm not just screaming a problem. I'm also solving the problem by myself. One day the government will see me and say, wow, she's doing great. Let's bring her. If she can organize 500 women to do something, it means we can give her a leadership position and she can take care of the country. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I hope I was able to.
Yeah, I mean, that was very, that was really a good one,
Yeah.
coming from different angle. So I know you've spoken a little bit about crafting compelling stories and how you can actually make your voice heard as a woman. But how can technology be better utilized to create compelling narrative around advocacy for women's progress?
Okay. How can it be better utilized?
Yeah, technology.
Yes, okay. We can use technology to build women into economic empowerment.
Okay.
Yes.
I think very important.
Very important. And I know one of the things that are topping it all now is economic empowerment.
Definitely.
That somebody is economically capacitated. The moment you enter into a room, everybody wants to relate with you. So there are several women who are not utilizing this space.
Yeah.
One of the things that Choma Eze always teaches is how you can make money online. She's always saying it, that there's money in social media space. There's money in social media space. Now she teaches this course called data entry. And a lot of people, she's teaching even stay-at-home moms. Do you get? That's tech. She's teaching stay-at-home moms to use data entry, to do small jobs around, that they don't have to go to 9 to 5 in case their husbands are worried. But yeah, they are productive through these little things they are doing using technology. You get? You can stay in your house now and make a video of the meal you're cooking, and they are paying you on YouTube for it.
Right.
So economic empowerment is there. Social empowerment. Somebody like me who is not comfortable with crowd. Now I can relate with people online, chat with people. At least I have foreign friends that I've met online. So we talk.
Wow.
Do you get? So
And
technology
all this
has,
was possible through the
yeah,
use of technology.
technology, all these things were possible through the use of technology. Even is it telehealth? We can use technology for health purposes, even in local communities.
Yes.
You understand? So I think these are the ways. There are other several ways, but
Oh, well, I think you already highlighted some important ones, and I think that's a very good one.
thank you.
What moral issues do you think must be taken into consideration when working as an advocate for women's progress? I know you've spoken with, or you've met with quite a number of women, and then you've spoken with them. What are the moral issues you think should be taken into consideration when advocating for women's progress?
Okay, you know what we call immorality in this part of the world is very funny. We look at the way somebody is dressed and we think the person is immoral. But one of the things, just one, I'm going to mention just one, that we need to address is honesty. There's a lot of dishonesty flying around, and it's actually an immoral behavior. Dishonesty. It can crumble your morality. You know, when we are campaigning for a position, we come out looking all perfect. Tell us your problem. We'll solve them. You know? Oh, you were raped. Wow. Don't worry. We'll speak for you when we get there. And the moment you get up there, it's all gone. Nobody can even have access to you. Recently, I met a speaker, and she said, "Oh, she doesn't give her number, but she will give it to me." And she just chat her up. She will respond. It's been a month now. I chatted her, and she didn't respond.
Wow.
Yes, that's dishonesty. You can kindly tell me, I don't give out my contact, and even if I do, I may not respond. That is honesty, and I will run with it. It's better than you telling me that, take the contact, I will respond. I don't ignore messages. I don't know the reason why she has not responded, all right? There are several reasons why. But I'm just saying, be honest to that point. I don't give out my personal contact. I give out my business contact that is handled by my secretary. Okay. If the message is important, she will relate it
the
to me.
message to you, yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And sometimes when I have the time, I go check those messages myself. Is this one worth answering? You get? So those are the things that, this is how we should. And mind you, my secretary responds to every messages. Sorry, she's indisposed. Sorry, she's not available. Sorry, okay. All right, we'll handle this. Do you understand? So dishonesty is one thing we should address as an advocate. If you give your word, stand with that word. Because the moment you begin to go AY, we will not have confidence in you again. Even if we want to tell you something, we won't be able to come to you because why? You failed us the first time. You were not honest with us. So I think it's the only moral behavior I think they should. Other things can be, deceit is powerful. It can change people.
Right.
Yeah, but one thing that nobody should take away from you is honesty.
Right. Wow, thank you very much. I think honesty is very important in across various sectors. It doesn't matter if you're going into leadership position, even in your workplace.
Yes.
I mean, with colleagues everywhere, you should actually be very honest. So I think it's very important in life. All right, thank you so much for that. And then what are some obstacles preventing women from entering leadership in the social impact space? And then coming to spotlight, I know we said sometimes people could not come or may decide not to, voice their concerns because maybe they're shy or they have issues communicating with number of people or stage fright or something. But what are some of the obstacles preventing people? What do you think are some of the obstacles preventing people from actually entering leadership position? and then coming to spotlight to celebrate their little progress and social impact contributions.
Okay, I will begin with late education. You know, we have
Okay.
early education.
Late education,
Late
yeah, I think that
education.
is...
I think education, I want to begin with education because education is your first step to growth.
Sure.
Yeah, your parent tells you, come, that's an education. They're
Yeah.
educating you on how to walk. Now,
Yeah.
some people were not educated early. So, and early education builds confidence. Do you understand? Early education builds confidence. You know, it's just like bringing a 15 years old girl and a 50 years old woman who has not actually acquired the knowledge that the 15 years old girl has acquired. It will affect her confidence to express. Do you get? So what do? We encourage early education.
Right.
Yes, educate your daughters early. It is one of the things my father did that I will love my father forever. He was a man, but there are some things he did for his daughters that I'm so proud to share all the time. As his boys were being educated, his daughters
were
are also
also-
being educated. Mind you, my daddy was buying balls for the boys, like football. He was also buying for his daughters.
Wow.
Yes. And he will ask us to go and play the football with the boys.
Wow.
Yes.
That
Do you
is
know,
really...
do you get that recently when my elder sister gave birth to our first granddaughter, do you know what
Oh.
my dad bought for this girl that was just not even up to a year? A football.
Wow.
Do you understand? Because he wants his daughters to also be seen in the society. He gives you this independent mindset. Is your brother going for a master's? You're also doing the same. Now, in my family, I think my father's children are the first to a lot of things. First to a lot of things. I am the first to have an NGO,
Wow.
first to write a book.
Wow.
Do you get first to be a musician? I'm a musician actually.
Really
Yes,
multi-talented.
a gospel artist. First to be a gospel artist that has
Wow.
released songs. Do you get? My younger sister is the first barrister of the house.
Whoa.
My elder brother is the first professor of the house. My elder
Wow.
sister is the first person to start up her own business. That is not just small. So there is always a first person because he early educated us. My dad should be 80, but he still read books.
Wow.
He still asks you to bring him books. And he taught us how to read books right from when we were little.
Wow.
So late education can affect women from being able to voice out. Another thing is when women faces abuse. You know, yesterday where I was, I actually said something that shook the whole hall. I wasn't a guest. I was just invited. And then they asked the question, what's your financial goal? And I was so excited to share. I said, my goal is that I am so wealthy that my friend's friend that I don't even know is not worried about money. Do you get? So everybody, like, wow, everybody was shouting. So when I went outside, somebody saw me and was engaging with me, and I was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And he was so excited to know about me, and I was telling him, and he started telling me a story that there's this lady who is a graduate, a barrister, and after she got married, her husband just caged her. He said this lady she's a very bold person that, you know, she's what
Very
do you call it?
outspoken.
Yeah, very outspoken. Thank you. She's very outspoken and she's in a lot of space before she got married. And the man is not educated. So he was threatened by her personality and started suppressing her. They are divorced now.
Wow.
But even when after the divorce, she has not been able to come back into herself. So abuse of power over the girl child. recently, in the compound, we're in holidays now. The children are in holidays, and then I see boys playing footballs outside, and the girls are inside. There's no space
I think
outside,
that's the African
which
mentality.
is very bad. My dad will not do that. I told you how he buys us football and asks us to go and play with the boys. Everything a guy is doing, a girl is doing. Do you know, mind you, my brothers are also doing the same thing we are doing at home. My brothers are cooking, they are washing, they are doing the choices that we are doing at home. He makes you feel you should be independent. And so are your girl. Do you understand?
Yes.
He's already asking me when I'm actually a public health practitioner. I studied
Oh.
computer science in school.
You're really multi-talented.
Of course, I'm just into a lot of things. Do you get? Because I have a father that will call me and say, okay, how far, how this thing you're doing, how is it going? Okay, tell me about it. And he's, okay, why don't you do this? I also publish magazines for women.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, he's always asking me about this particular thing. Do you understand? So he has created a space for me to find freedom to express. Even parents abuse their daughters. Can we stop that? Can we give these girls freedom for expression or of expression? Can we do that? If we can do that, I think we'll have a lot of people who will be able to speak out. I saw a video online where a mother was cracking egg, and the daughter also picked her own to crack, and she cracked the egg and everything poured out on the table where they were. And I was expecting the mother, normally an African mother would like, are you okay? They will spank you. And like, do you know how much egg is cost? And she said, oh, it's okay, honey, it's okay. And she said, Mom, I'm sorry. She said, no, don't worry. Do you get? And she just took the towel, gave it to the girl to clean it up by herself, and asked her to pick the next one.
Wow.
Do you get? That will actually encourage the girl's confidence to keep trying even if she had failed the first time. Let's not downplay the abilities of our girls or our children. Do you understand? Or anyone at all. Let's say this is your first time of hosting a show, and then you're shaky. And your boss is like, are you okay? Why are you shaking? You get out of that place. Let's get somebody that is more equipped. You will never get better. So can we encourage people that their first failure, their second failure, their third failure is not who they are? There's something inside that you have to keep encouraging to come out.
Wow, I think this is a very deep one for me. And I think this is very deep and for a lot of people out there. So coming from some of the things that you've shared is saying that I think it starts with the home.
Yes.
It starts with the home, it starts with individuals to be able to, support you regardless of the kind of mistakes that you make. At least it helps build self-confidence and then help you celebrate yourself. Because if you don't celebrate yourself, nobody will, to be honest, nobody will. Oh, thank you so much. I think that is a very interesting one.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting one. Okay, so talking about Nigeria, we all look forward to a Nigeria where women's voices are heard and progress spoken more often and then celebrated regardless of our gender, right? Do you think we'll get there?
Yes, we are almost there. We are almost there. I just told you of a Nigerian woman who drove from London to Nigeria.
Okay.
So imagine that woman is being called into a room. Everybody will want to hear her speak.
Okay. So since you said we'll get there, so how do you think advocacy can enhance the voices of inclusion across diverse sectors? Let's not forget that we're also looking at the policy-making section and sectors. We're also looking at the leadership sectors. We're also looking at technology sector. So how do you think advocacy can actually enhance these voices?
Like I said from the previous one of the questions you asked earlier, advocacy is not just by saying something.
It's also by actions.
It's also by actions and doing something.
Right.
So what are you doing in your space? that can make somebody see you and say, oh, you're fit for a higher space.
All right.
What are you doing? You can't just be a woman that is sitting at home and doing nothing, and then you expect them to call you into the policy making for the whole country. You might have done something that is so powerful. We have Ngozi Wela that is the what? Do you get it? What would she have done to get her to that position? Actions. I don't think she was just shouting everywhere, I want to be, I want... No, she was doing something.
Right.
And those actions were speaking. They were voices speaking for her. They say action is louder than what? Voice.
Nice.
Was. They say action is louder than words. Your words can be incapacitated if you don't have actions to back it up. Just like, sorry, like a guy telling a girl, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Morning to night, he's just singing, I love you. And then he's not even doing anything to show that he actually loves her. We believe that sending flowers is one of the things that makes us feel loved. You've never sent flowers. Do you get? You've never even done anything. You're just saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. It won't count. Actions. In the medical field, actions. In my organization, we do outreaches, medical outreaches. We want to elevate, want to remove poverty. We are giving people food, bringing them, teaching them skills that will help them to be reliable, reliant in their own ways. Those are actions. What are we doing? Are we just talking? Talking without doing? No, we won't get anywhere. So I know that we have started already, but can we, like I will always say, increase the volume?
Okay.
And there's something I want to say. The truth is that nobody wants to hear you. Nobody wants to hear you speak. Nobody even give a damn about what you have to say. Except you are powerful. And how can you be powerful? By your actions. Result. It's your result that gives you power. Why did you call me here? I believe you've gone to check some of the things.
Of course.
Do you understand?
Right.
Will you call every woman you see on the streets to come and sit here?
Of course not.
There must be something that is special about you, that is your power, that will strengthen your voice. That when every person is shouting, the moment you come inside and you say a word, the whole room is silent because power just entered. So build your power. Your power is who you are.
Right.
The things that people can be scared, like, who is she?
Important.
When Celine Dion is singing, everywhere is quiet. I watched one of these videos of Michael Jackson, and everybody was stretching to touch him. Wow. A human being like me? Are you kidding? Because he had power. What kind of, is it physical power? No. His gift, his result has built power edge for him that everybody wants to stretch and have a bit or a bite of it. Actually, you cannot have it. If you don't build yours,
Right.
you can't have somebody else's own.
Right.
So the only way in Nigeria, women advocacy can actually speak further and we can be included in a lot of things is when we build our own power. Build your power and they will call you. They will call you. I don't know if you know Jezebel in the Bible. She was very powerful woman. Why? Her power was she gives her husband ideas that he can't even have on his own. And he began to include her into the societal matters. Do you get that when she makes a decision, the whole nation is hearing her? She had built her power. So build your power as a woman and you'll be included.
Wow, I think that is really amazing. So we need to build our powers as women. I think that's very interesting. I know that previously you also spoke about the power wouldn't come to you. You have to actually go out there to get the power, and that's where nothing without us. For us as women, you have to actually get involved
Yeah.
so that you'll be able to help other people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't hear your friend speak about what she wanted to do, just settle down with her husband,
Yeah.
and then you spoke to her, and then she changed, and then right now she's advocating for women and also
Yes,
training
teenagers.
women. I think she wouldn't have gotten
Yeah,
that far, right? So yeah, so build yourself so you can build other people. I think that's a
Yeah,
very interesting one. Thank you. So and then lastly, can you share any long-term goals of advocacy for women's progress, if any? Do you
Of
think there are
course,
any long-term goals?
my forever goal is to build um, a platform for women to actually be a profitable asset. So till I die is something I will do every day.
All right.
So it's like forever goal.
Okay.
Yes, and it's something I want to build that should outlive me, right? That even when I'm gone, those actions are speaking. They keep speaking. That sometimes I tell my friends that I mind what I post online. I post the truth because my children are coming. And maybe when I'm not there, one day they will see what I have done, what I have written. And it can be a voice for them.
All right.
It can be a channel of escape when they are stuck. They don't even know what to do. So yes, my long-term goal is to build women and teenagers. I'm saying teenagers. Okay, I think it's for everybody actually, but you just have to have a niche. Yeah,
Right,
I remember when
right.
we went to Port Harcourt to give our magazines to women, like for a seminar. They called us to come. And we were giving the magazine, and men were also dragging magazine. A woman, the motivated woman, they were dragging the magazines with women. And I was curious. I was asking the man, and he said, "Why do we always focus on women? What about them? Can't they grow? Do I think they don't need these informations?" And I said, "Okay, don't worry. Maybe some days, maybe in the future, we'll start." Creating things for men as well. And I told him, I said, one of the reasons why we don't like reaching out to men is because you are proud. If you are too proud, you feel women don't have anything to give you. We actually have a lot.
Right.
We actually have a lot. And if you can come down from your horses, maybe we'll give you ideas that you don't know exist.
Right.
Yeah. Another beautiful thing about women is that, they are not in the front line. So they see quite a lot. They see the things that the people on the spotlight are not seeing. You are in the spotlight. You are not looking at your environment. You are looking at the people that are not in the spotlight. Most times, you see the people that are standing on the platform covered with light, then the congregation is not as bright as where they are standing. So they're not even seeing what is there.
Yeah.
But the person that is in the congregation is seeing the spotlight. He or she is seeing what is on the rug that you are not seeing.
Right.
They are seeing your disposition. They are seeing when you are frightened. You may not even be seeing it. So women see things from the back that people on the spotlight are not seeing. If they can give us the opportunity to be heard, because we know so much, then I think the country, Nigeria, will be a better place.
Wow. Thank you so much for your contribution. I mean, I've really learned a lot personally, and I'm very sure that our audience would get to learn a lot as well. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And yes, with that, we have come to the end of today's episode. A big thank you to our guest. Thank you, Dorand, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And thank you again for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us and how we can better advocate for women's progress. Shout out to our online viewers for staying to the end. See you on the next episode. Till then, bye.